What are you looking for between now and, I mean, not only election day, he's being sentenced July 11th, just a few days before the RNC. There's a presidential debate before that. What are you keeping your eye out as a Democratic strategist? What's most important to you?
I think that Biden did a phenomenal job in the State of the Union. If we remember, I mean, it feels like a lifetime ago, but it was just a few short months ago. And the bar was so low, and everyone was sort of so negative on the direction of the Biden campaign. And he went out and he really overperformed. And there was a reset moment. We need that reset moment again, because since that happened, the crisis in the Middle East has continued to unfold. Inflation numbers have gotten worse. We didn't get that interest rate cut that we were hoping the Fed was going to make in this last quarter. And so things have gotten worse again for him. So even though Donald Trump has been on trial, things have not been going well for Biden. And so I'm hoping that in this debate, not only is there not an unforced error or a gap, but that he outperforms Donald Trump, the Donald Trump gap, that we get that reset moment. And then we go into a sentencing that is what it is. And Biden just takes off and spends the next few months, put a team around him that's young, energetic, out telling his story, selling their campaign message, and riding it out into the fall. I mean, the nightmare scenario is that this war in Israel is still raging on come August, and that we have a convention in Chicago that's reminiscent of 1968. And that there's sort of this reinforcement that the reason we elected Joe Biden was to sort of return to normalcy, get everything back in order, make people feel like there's an adult at the till. And then really what you end up seeing is images of chaos going into the fall. And then obviously the kids come back from college. So what we need to see is a strong pivot. I think that debate is a real opportunity for him. And then from there forward, he's got to play his game and he's got to be at his best.
What does a win at that debate look like for President Biden? Because every strategist I've talked to, high risk, but high reward if he does pull it off. What does pulling it off look like?
Pulling it off is he's got to, first of all, no gaffes, no screwing up world leaders' names, no old man shuffle when he's going to a seat, none of that. But he's got to land a couple of punches, and he's got to be very strong on the facts and his vision. The entire country will be watching. The country was not watching that trial, right? There were no cameras in the courtroom. But I believe the entire country is going to be watching that debate. And so that's his moment to tell the American people, this is how you're better off today than when I inherited office 3.5 years ago. And here's what you're going to get from me if you stick with me just a little bit longer so I can finish the job you hired me to do. And he's got to land a couple of punches. He's got to come off as tough and strong and effective. Because the reality is, people like people who are strong. The famous line, we'd rather have someone who's strong and wrong than weak. So he's got to be strong, tough, effective, and come off as a leader.